Hello and welcome back to the Colloquial Kitchen. Today I'm going to tell you how to start your kitchen. 7 things to get you started. We'll start off with the most basic, which is number 1 and 2, a pot and a pan. Okay? You want something to fry in, you want something to boil in. It doesn't matter the quality when you're just starting. I always say, go to Goodwill, go to St. Vinny's, go to your local resale shop and buy whatever's cheap. Go to the dollar store, go to wherever. It doesn't matter if it's high quality. When you're starting out, just get a pot and a pan so you can fry and boil. Simple as that. You can make sauces in your frying pan. You can make them in your pot. You can, after a while, get a steamer and steam things. This is what you start with. You can't cook unless you have something to cook in. Number 2. Some people will call it a cookie sheet. I call it a roasting tray. If you're going to make roast potatoes, if you're going to make a roast chicken, if you're going to do anything that you're roasting in the oven, you want a sheet. And you want one with a lip, so that if you're cooking something like a roast chicken, the drippings will all stay there and not go all over your oven. And if you make cookies, you got a cookie sheet. That's 3. Number 4. Now, a lot of people don't like these, but as a starting tool, a box grater is cheap and useful. Now, a box grater has 4 sides that do 4 different things. You have coarse grated for like doing cheese on top of enchiladas or on lasagna or whatever. You have a fine grating I use it mostly for Parmesan or Romano to get that fine grating that I then sprinkle on top. You have the grating. I've never used this. It's basically, I don't know. It's supposed to be for hard cheese to get a very, very fine granular grating, whereas the small grating will give you fine shreds. So, sorry, coarse shred, fine shred grating. I never use this. I use this. And then slicing, which is okay. I've got better slicers. If I'm slicing a vegetable, I usually do it with a knife. If I'm slicing cheese, I've got a cheese slicer. Got a cheese slicer. But this saves you buying that. So this is good to start with. And then once you get used to it and know what you use, you can go out and buy better stuff. And then donate this to your local thrift shop. Donate it to Goodwill. Donate it to St. Vinny's. Pass this along so that somebody else who's just starting can pick it up for 50 cents or $1. Always pass it along. And I'm going to say that for everything that you use. You start with a cheap knife when you realize what you like, you've learned, donate that knife to a resale shop, a charity resale shop. You're doing two things. One, you're keeping that knife going. Two, you're helping out somebody who's just starting. And three, the money that those groups make goes to really good purposes and really helps people in need. So buy from the resale shop, donate to the resale shop. Next thing up is your cutting board. Now this is a cheap bamboo cutting board I got off of Amazon. It came in a set of 3. This is I think this is the largest one. There's a smaller one, a medium one, and then there's a really tiny one. If you can't afford a good cutting board, get these. Bamboo is good for your knives. It's better than plastic, and I'm going to come back to that in a second. And bamboo is an ultimately renewable resource. Bamboo is amazing. It is a grass, not a wood. It grows really fast. Cut it down, it grows back. It does not contribute to deforestation. It's like harvesting corn or lettuce or whatever, harvesting bamboo. So bamboo is good, but these are thin, they're small, and they're good to start with, but they don't give you a whole lot of opportunity to expand. If you can afford it, get a good, thick, solid cutting board. Now, this is one I made, and it is 9 by 18. I need to redo this, make a new one that is wider. I can go up to 12 inches on my plane. That extra 3 inches is going to be really useful, and I'll probably take it out longer. A cutting board like this has a couple of advantages. One is that it is heavy. Heavy means it doesn't move as much. Okay? A trick is always to put a towel or some paper towel or something underneath so that if this is sitting on your counter, it doesn't rock. It sits solid. A thick cutting board means that you can scrape things off onto your hand and then dump them in. Okay? Wood, and this is a thing. Wood is better than plastic. Plastic cutting boards are fine, but wood has inherent antibacterial properties. So if you're cutting chicken on a wood cutting board versus a plastic cutting board, the wood is going to destroy any bacteria. Salmonella is the big one with chicken. Listeria might pop up because it absorbs water and dries out whatever is on it. That means that it dries out and kills the bacteria. Plastic, when you wash it, if you don't wash it all the way, you don't wash it properly, those bacteria can still live there for, maybe a day. Well, you go to use it again the next day, and suddenly now when you're cutting your bagel, that salmonella gets on your bagel. Wood cutting boards. If you clean it properly, wipe it down, dry it, and let it dry on its own, is going to be better. And it's better for the environment. You're not getting microplastics into your food. You're not manufacturing extra plastic or buying manufactured plastic and such. The last thing is the knife. buy a good knife. Buy a cheap knife to start with. You can get a good functional knife for $5 or $10. Again, go to your thrift stores, Goodwill, St. Vincent de Paul, whatever local thrift stores. Go to the dollar store. I will say one thing. Don't get ceramic. Get steel. Get a real steel knife. Ceramic doesn't function the same way. And you can't sharpen it. You can't hone it. Simple steel knife. So those 7 things. Oh, wait a minute. That was 6. Number 7. And this will be controversial. Mortar and pestle. This is a nice marble, granite, stone one. Large. I got this little one for, I don't know, maybe $10. When you're working with dried herbs, dried spices, this is amazing. Throwing in rosemary, sesame seeds, cilantro, whatever that's dried, crushing it up, you increase the surface area, you release the aromatics that are kept inside, and you get so much more flavor. That little mortar and pestle is not necessary, but boy, it's going to do a lot of work for you. So those are what I would consider the 7 things that you need to start your own kitchen. Comment below if you've got other ideas.